The Chiman Secrets of Life Transformation. Well, basically it means early and later heaven bagua. Now, if you're a student of Chinese metaphysics, whether you're studying feng shui or you're studying bazi, you probably have heard of the early and later heaven bagua. And a lot of technical explanations have been given over time, and frankly, not a lot of people know what it actually means and how they actually use it in the actual application of metaphysics. So in this lesson right now, I want to explain something technical, but in the most layman fashion that you can actually understand this and immediately apply this to transform your life. How about that? Okay, so this will be about Chiman Dunjia's early and later heaven. So in general, the technical aspect first, okay? Just give me a moment to tell you what's the technical aspect. The technical aspect is that you have two baguas. One is the early heaven bagua. Okay, I'm going to slot this screen right here to show you. This is called the early heaven bagua. And this is called the later heaven bagua. And just by a glance, you know that this, the arrangement of the trigrams is all in different places and everyone thinks, oh, so what does it mean? So in the original classics, they would say this is the pre-heaven, whatever is fixed, and then later heaven is whatever is in the future, is ever changing, ever evolving. That sounds like a whole bunch of technical stuff that you probably cannot apply. So let me show you what it actually means in actual application, okay? So now, we all talk about this is you, right? This is us. This is human being. This is right now the present you. Okay? So whether we have a good life or whether we have an extraordinary life or whether we have a miserable life, a lot of us will look at, we look back in the past, right? Look back in the past and say, hey, there's a lot of these problems. I grew up in a family that was dysfunctional. Dad is an asshole, mom's a drug addict, or, I got beaten up in life, I got abused, and all this stuff, right? So a lot of so-called trauma or setbacks, correct? So that is this part here is the past, okay? So a lot of people would think, and we were told, right, that the past defined our present. So the past is what you are born with, right? You're born into a certain family, a certain environment, or certain things that are so-called fixed that you can't change. So what we can't change is the primordial bagua, right? The pre-heaven bagua. So in other words, this is called early heaven bagua, okay? Whatever is in the past. However, most people, while they think that the past created the present you, but really, right now, if we want to change the present or create a better life for ourselves, we have to understand that the power lies in the present, in how we actually define the past. So when we say we use the early heaven bagua, we have to consciously, with full awareness of our mind, and our divine intelligence, accessing to divine intelligence, define and how we see the past. We could use this, whatever events that has shaped us, as strengths that propel us forward, or we could say that the past and all these problems and all these issues define our present. These two things here, the past here, in the time continuum, in early heaven, later heaven, actually does not exist. The only thing that exists in reality right now is you right here. So when we say we plot a Chiman chart, your Chiman charts, which is time-based, we always plot the now chart. The now chart is the hour chart, right? Or today, or this hour, right, happening right now. This is the present. That's why when we want to do a forecasting, right? When we want to be able to track the trajectory of something, or want to see what got you here, we always plot the present chart. We don't go and plot the past chart. The past chart does not exist. Early heaven, or whatever happened in the past, traumatic or otherwise, it depends on the lens you use to filter it. So this is the filtering. If we define the past as what strengthens us, that identity will give us the power to change the present. But if we see the past as being obstacles, problems, issues, and challenges, and setbacks, and betrayals, and all these issues, and if we allow that to define us, then that's why we're stuck right here. Okay? Now, let's talk about this thing called later heaven. What's later heaven in the terminology of metaphysics? It means the future. Okay? So now, of course, we would think, because we're told that, our present would create the future. Whatever we do here, if we take the right actions, we take the right steps, we do the right thing, then the future is secure. Right? If you think about that, right? The future that we want, sometimes we'll say, okay, let's do something better. Let's make a 5% improvement. But if you think about it, if you're running a company, just 5% improvement over the course of the next 10 years, this improvement is so subtle, because it's so linear and 5% is so negligible, you actually don't feel that you're improving. But if you see the future as maybe 5 times or 10 times bigger, then this change is extraordinary. But here's the thing, right? If we follow this path, this is what we normally think it's how things should happen. We just make small improvements here and then this is the outcome that we want. Yes, it's the correct approach. However, a better approach when it comes to later heaven is this. Let the future define your present. Let the future you, this is called future casting, define the present you. Now, what does that mean? That means if this is something that is extraordinarily fantastic, it's awesome, it's something that super big, right? This here will define and filter what you need to do here in order to get to that outcome. Now, think about this, okay? A lot of times we look at our lives right now. Just look back 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, you look at where you are right now. Have you not done something that is beyond what we expected to be able to do? Right? In my own case, I used to think when I first started in the teaching metaphysics, I used to teach like 6 to 8 people in a class. Right? The biggest class I had at the time was like 20 people. And never at that time, if I were to think of a 5% improvement, I will grow onto an audience that has 13,000 people in one room. So that growth is the quantum exponential growth. So that already reaches to a point where we are looking at a future, if it's a true future, is something that is impossible. We created the impossible because we look at the impossible and filter it to the present. Therefore, whatever we do now will create the outcome that we want. So here's the thing. Let the future, that's why we call it future casting in Chiman, be the filter for your present. That's the true power of the later heaven. So when we look at the future that we want, a lot of times people don't even dare to dream of the impossible. But if you think about it, the miracles that we see in life, the creations, the wonderful creations that we see in this world are created when people at that time think this is impossible, but now becomes possible in the present. So there only exists one existence, and that is the present. This future is in the realm of impossible, correct? If it is possible, then the growth is, the trajectory is too linear, and you probably don't feel it otherwise, right? Because you are expecting to grow 5 to 10%, it's quite pretty normal. But when you're looking at something big, all right, what's the big future that you want? So we are starting right now in this lesson in Chiman Dunja. I want you to think about what is that big future out there? Even though it might not be possible right now, but that's what the future is about. If it is possible, then you're already doing it right now. You're using the limited intelligence, the limited mindset right now with the limited tools to create what is possible. But if you want something huge, extraordinary, great for yourself, then you need to see this and then filter it to the present. So what is this then? This is the power of forecasting. In Chiman, when you forecast the future, you are looking at the big future. Look for the possibilities. I'll show you how in the lessons of Chiman. But this is what it's about, okay? That's why when we plot a achievement forecasting chart, we are looking at this. When we try to manifest the reality, we look at the big possibility in the future and then filter it to the present. Therefore, the future is created. Whatever is here hasn't happened yet, right? It hasn't happened yet. There's many possibilities. The miracles that you want to see, it's right here. Okay? If it's something that within your control, you already have the solution to it, then it's a linear growth, right? Linear growths are generally not what you want. Then you don't even need treatment for that. You just need to be a little bit more positive-minded and you probably get there. But you want something extraordinary, right? Out of the limitations that you see right now. So exercise your imagination right now, right? What is the big future that you seek? That's the later heaven. And the tools to get there is achievement forecasting and the achievement art of manifesting. That's how you create the present you to get the future that you want. Okay? So review this lesson and leave me the comments in the Facebook group, and I'll see you in the next lesson.